Well, we didn't have to go far for this week's Veterans Voices because he's a member of the WTRF team. Shawn Maguire is one of our account executives, but years before that, he spent 3 years in the U.S. Navy. That took him literally across the world to Japan, a place he still considers to be his home. This is his story in his own words.
When the Navy says, join us, come and see the world, they mean it. You go see the world.
And Shawn Maguire has. While he calls Wheeling home now, he's originally from Southern California, which was part of the reason he chose the Navy.
I didn't want to be away from the ocean. I loved it so much. I loved being in it, and I thought Navy was perfect.
Maguire's service had him stationed in Japan on the USS Independence.
I was ship's company. That means I stayed with the ship. I lived on the ship. That was my home.
As part of the flight deck division on the aircraft carrier.
Oh, I loved aircraft. When they said air department, I said, yeah, air department. I definitely want to mess with airplanes somehow, or jets, somehow. I want that in my life, let alone, I was literally on the most dangerous job, one of the most dangerous jobs in the Navy.
With more than 5,000 people on board, it was a floating city, and everyone had a job. If it dealt with the movement of an aircraft, it was Maguire's division's responsibility.
You're shoved off, basically, by the nose and led off really hard by a giant steam piston. And it's so hot that sometimes oil gets in there and we have a little oil fire. That's how hot it is. And once it's sent off, then it's up to the pilot to steer it up, of course.
His job took him quite literally all over the ship, to the tallest point, and even...
I was under the ship.
After 3 years of service, Maguire decided to stay in Japan because he had developed a respect for the area.
I never had a day that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm intimidated by this land. No, I embraced it. I loved it. Loved the food, loved the culture, loved the people. And that was by the time I came home, a total of 10 years, I had already lived there a third of my life. It was my home. I still consider it home.
Maguire spent an additional 7 years attached to a U.S. military base in Japan as a substitute teacher and wrestling coach after his service was complete. If you would like to hear more about his adventures, you can head over to WTRF.com to watch a digital exclusive.